Welcome back, Rankers. Some of you may know already that last Friday afternoon, Melbourne time, at about 5 o'clock, Matt Cutts, Google senior engineer, tweeted out that there had been an algorithm change. All of us in the industry got a bit excited because whenever there's an algorithm change, usually it means major upheaval. And there was a time in not too recent past where Google used to roll out these changes quarterly. And then in about 2008, they told us that the changes would be always in a live environment, so they'd always be ongoing. So this was unusual to hear this happen. And so I wrote a blog post about it on Friday afternoon about what to expect and what we should expect based on the blog post from Google. Google told us that it would affect 12% of search results and that they had matched it against one of their plugins for Chrome, which allowed users to block sites or domains that they didn't want to see in their search results. And when they cross-checked the algorithm change to this plugin, they said that it was about an 84% match. So the implication was that this was something that users would want and that it would affect a really large part of the search volume. However, it doesn't seem to have done terribly much at all. There are a couple of exceptions, however. One of the main reasons that a lot of people saying this change was made to the algorithm is that it was directed at content farms. What's a content farm? Well, a content farm is basically a very large site that creates content and then sells advertising space on it. Now, that to me seems fairly harmless until you get into some sites, and I'm going to call out a couple here because they've annoyed me over the years. Experts Exchange was one that always used to annoy me because they used to rank for a particular phrase or a particular technical problem that you were trying to fix, or a particular phrase, and when you got to the site, you couldn't actually get to the content. They did change that over the years, and you would have to sign up to get the guts of the content. But they ranked for it, and I always found that annoying. Instructables was another one. Just for instance, say you wanted to mod a Nerf gun to say, I don't know, put a 12-volt battery on it to increase the firing round capacity. Sites like Instructables, you get to a certain point and then you have to become a member before you get any more information. I don't have a problem with sites doing that. It's just when they rank number one for it and then I find I can't actually get the answer that I wanted without signing up, to me that is not relevant content. Well, we can see right now that Instructables certainly is still ranking. But one of the big ones was Demand Media, who are basically one of these companies that creates content farms. And one of the big ones that they create is eHow. And many of you may know eHow. And that's the logo there, and that's Demand Media. Now, Demand Media have said that the algorithm change, which was reportedly directed at them, hasn't hurt eHow rankings at all. And when we go and have a look at some searches, and here's some ones that I completed earlier because just say you wanted to know how to draw a Fibonacci spiral, which I was searching for a couple of weeks ago. So how to draw a Fibonacci spiral. And eHow is still ranking number one for that. Now, number 1 and 2 in fact. Now when you go and look at the content, I really don't have a problem with the eHow content. In fact, I've done a number of searches over the last couple of months around very technical things, and eHow always comes up, and in this case, this is a really relevant answer, and it tells you exactly how to do it. And the advertising isn't overblown, unlike, say, some other content farms like, say, eZine Articles. eZine Articles is basically an article publishing site where you can go and write an article, publish it on their site. Other people can use that article for their own site if they want to. But the idea and the main reason that people do it, and I'm sure eZine Articles will probably take issue with me on this one, is the main reason that I know that people do it is to get backlinks from a relevant page of content to their site. So, for instance, they will write an article on Great Dane dog training. I know the word dog is redundant, but it's a popular search. And you'll see down here there's a link down here to this page, which is a direct link to an article on eZine Articles. And you compare, say, something like this with what you were just looking at eHow, and there is a lot more ads and a lot less content and a lot more links out. And this is the guts of the content here. That's it. That's really the only piece of content you'd be interested in if you did that search. Now, they're still ranking for it as well. So the algorithm change I can't see has done anything. Now, you might say, well, the algorithm change hasn't been rolled out to Australia yet, but if you go and do these searches in .com and if you're sitting in the US, you'll find similar results. And I'm not the only one who's saying this, of course. We've got Chris Pirillo and his team. Chris Pirillo, if you don't know Chris Pirillo, he's Locognome, an old mate. And he cites and his writers are saying the same thing. They're not seeing any major changes. But I think eZine Articles might be feeling something, because there was an email that came out yesterday from eZine Articles saying that effective immediately, they've increased quality checks and we've doubled the review time per article that our editors are allowed to focus on format, grammar, spelling and consistency. Because a lot of the articles that you'll see on eZine Articles, in my experience anyway, the grammar has been terrible and the quality is less than great, or has been. And they've also got this new minimum 400 word count. So I think what we can take from that is that whatever the change is doing, and we only looked at a couple of examples here, but whatever the change is doing, it's focusing in on bad quality pages. And really, if you're a business that is trying to deal directly with your customers and you're not just out there trying to rank for things so that you can sell advertising, you probably don't need to worry about it. But it does reinforce the concept of that if you want to rank for a phrase, make sure that your content is relevant for that phrase. And it's simple as that. And relevancy means that create a piece of content that people want to read, not a search engine bot, and get links from other sites that might be related to that content. And the best way to get links from other sites that might be related to that content isn't by doing things like this person is doing, which is comment spam and just coming and leaving a comment about drugs on the stuartmedia.biz site. It's about finding other blogs that might be related to the content that you're talking about and exchanging and contributing to those blogs, as well as forums, helping people out in forums and all those sorts of things. And that is it for today's show. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much. Bye.